Brazil, abundant in natural resources, with the world's greatest biodiversity. In addition to its immense wealth of fauna and flora, Brazil is proud of its incredibly diverse culture with a strong, resilient history.
However, there's another side of the story. More than 60 million Brazilians live on less than $5.50 per day to ensure their survival. Millions that don't have money to feed themselves. This situation makes our country part of the World Food Programme's hunger map.
Today, we, Enactus Federal University of Uberlândia, UFO, developed two initiatives to fight this poverty and food insecurity.
Due to the current uncertain global scenario, the price of agricultural supplies has increased by more than 172% since last year. This directly impacts 2.5 million small farmers that cannot access quality supplies. As a result, the producers' crops are extremely vulnerable to disease, pests, and climate change.
Through the BFERT enterprise, our innovation program in agricultural biotech involving insects, our objective is sustainable economic growth for small-scale farmers. Our initiative involves the development of organic fertilizers through insect farming. That's right, bugs.
By merging vertical farming techniques in a small space and with the exponential reproductive cycle of mealworm larvae, BFERT creates a highly scalable, sustainable, and practical business model. Using corn and wheat bran for insect feeding, weekly we collect in each container 700 grams of organic matter, along with remnants of the insect's exoskeleton and feces.
This results in organic fertilizer rich in nutrients that, when compared to competitors, represent a 70% higher concentration of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The biopolymer found in the insect exoskeleton induces the ability to organically increase the plant's resistance to diseases and pests.
By using BFERT, we observed an increase of up to 20% in the production of various crops. And working as a substitute for chemical fertilizers and pesticides, there was a reduction of over 90% the amount of CO2 emissions per hectare of product application.
Because of the product growth potential, our socio-environmental business received an initial seed capital of $2,000 from two large agribusiness companies, Cargill and Sumitomo Chemical. This investment enabled us to enter the Brazilian organic fertilizer market.
Through B2B sales in online marketplaces and B2C sales at sustainable product fairs, we increased our income by 80% since last year. Now BFERT has nationwide reach, supplying our product to customers across our regions of Brazil.
Also, we took part in an acceleration program of the Entrepreneurial Activities Incubation Center that resulted in a 40% reduction in the unit production cost, achieving a profit margin of $4 per kilogram of the product. We reached a revenue of almost $4,000 in 6 months, which corresponds to nearly 70% return on the initial investment.
This will enable BFERT to scale and achieve an annual revenue of $100,000 by 2025, reaching a valuation of $500,000.
But we still had a desire to get even bigger. And based on the market growth potential, we launched an extension within our program. Through the cultivation of another native tropical insect, the black soldier fly larva, we developed a system for processing organic waste and producing nutritional supplements for fish and poultry.
By utilizing organic waste as a feed for insect development, we have eliminated the expenses associated with their feeding. This new process can yield a product that is 20% cheaper than its competitors in the market, while also boosting higher concentrations of fat and protein. With daily use, we ensure a 10% increase in weight gain and a 5% rise in the survival rate of these animals. This improves the profit margin of the animal farmer.
This project will bring the opportunity of tapping into a market that generates over $100 billion annually, with potential to achieve a revenue of $500,000 in the next 3 years.
Through this journey in our program involving insect farming, we have achieved a couple key recognitions. National runner-up in the Sumitomo Chemical Sustainable Society Award. Champions of the first cohort of the Handover Program, an accelerator for social entrepreneurship projects by Enactus Brazil, and 4-time winner of the Cargill Foundation's Food Focus Award.
These accomplishments reflect the socio-environmental impact of a program that has already assisted 80 small-scale producers that ensure safe and quality nutrition for thousands of people.
But our team knew that we also needed to work to improve the lives of people living in extreme poverty. And that's why we started the Aroeiras project. Aroeira is a tree known for its resilience, and our project serves a community of ladies who are also resilient.
This project focuses on eco bags that incorporate the reuse of textile waste as a source of income and financial autonomy for resilient seamstresses, like Mrs. Lanier. She's a self-employed seamstress who is surviving on less than $100 per month.
Eu recebi antes, eu não tinha condições. Tudo estava parado. Aroeiras me deu umas condições de pagar minhas contas e de fazer minhas compras também, né? Me deu aquela vontade de crescer de novo, tipo assim, de eu me acordar para a vida. É um incentivo para as mulheres que querem ter esse ânimo que eu tenho, de mulher para mulheres, forte como Aroeiras.
Aside from this, the fashion industry is responsible for 10% of global carbon emissions and 35% of ocean-bound microplastic caused by the excess disposal of textile waste. For this reason, the Aroeiras project utilizes the upcycling model to give a new purpose to fabrics that would have been thrown out. And through a partnership with the largest fashion conglomerate in Brazil, Grupo Soma, we have received over 200 kilograms of fabric scraps, transforming what used to be waste into valuable production materials.
By B2C sales of our products at fairs and on social media platforms, we achieved 15% return on investment. This provides Mrs. Lanier with a monthly income exceeding her current one by over 200%.
By repurposing fabrics in accessory production, we are able to prevent the use of 6,000 plastic bags per month and the emission of 1 million microplastic particles. For every 200 kilograms of reused fabric, we prevent the emission of over 4 tons of CO2 and avoid the consumption of 4 million liters of water, a volume enough to sustain nearly 6,000 people for a year. This led us to the top 12 social business initiatives combating the ocean crisis in the One Race for Oceans.
Because Aroeira's positive impact, we represented Enactus Brazil in the world's largest social entrepreneurship competition, the Huge Prize Challenge. Also, we are honored to be one of the 8 projects recognized by the Ford Motor Company Fund for promoting diversity and inclusion with better opportunities for women.
As you can see, this year we have been working on the development of Aroeiras and Bifert, initiatives that have gained significant recognition for their impact inside and outside Brazil. And through the Action with Africa program, we have initiated international partnerships to expand our impact globally.
The model created by our team is being replicated by 5 partners across 3 different countries on the African continent. In less than 3 months, it has already impacted the lives of dozens of individuals and is expanding quickly, showing the growth potential of our projects.
We, the Enactus leaders of the Federal University of Uberlândia, have developed these 2 socio-environmental business initiatives that have supported the economic growth of more than 80 small business owners,
helping Beefert partner producers to ensure safe and quality nutrition for 1,000 people every month.
Empowering the women of the Aroeiras project, increasing their income by more than 200%. We are eradicating poverty from their families.
Benefiting the lives of more than 5,000 families in local communities with new knowledge, skills, and opportunities.
inspired by the biodiversity and cultural wealth of our country, we ensure that our communities thrive even in their challenging realities. Through entrepreneurial actions, we are transforming lives and creating a better world for our communities. We are proud to be young leaders of
Enactus Brasil!
Thank you for your presentation. We will now begin the question and answer period. Only judges may ask questions at this time.
Hello, thank you for your presentation. I see from your annual report a significant drop in the total revenues of Beefert by almost 2 million dollars. How do you explain that? And secondly, did you calculate the economic impact of farmers using your product instead of, because you spoke about economic instability, so can you go deep in this? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. In Beefert, this year we also calculated the revenue of the first semester. So this is the difference. Last year was in both semesters. So also we have grown in compared to the last semester in 40% in the revenue. And the economic impact on the farmers was calculated by the reduction of its access, the prices that it pays for suppliers in the market. So we can reduce the price that he pays. So that's how we calculate it.
We compared the price of traditional fertilizers in Brazil with the use of FRES, is the product that we sell, the biofertilizer. So that's how we arrived to the data about the economy to the small farmers.
Thank you, T, for your presentation. My question is also related to Beefert project. You mentioned you used e-commerce for expanding your project into different cities in Brazil. So I want to know, how did you manage, the supply chain cycle regarding distribution, concept, and also how are you planning to utilize it for your international exposure within Africa?
The second question again, I'm sorry.
How are you planning to utilize your supply chain cycle, especially distribution, for expanding in Africa?
Okay. So in Brazil, the supply chain that we have is that we have like Mercado Livre is a B2B, it's a marketplace in Brazil, and we use it to sell. So it also has a
Delivery system.
A delivery system in Brazil that we have, and we use it with the marketplace. So that's how we send it to the people that buy from us. And in Africa, we have the partners, and actually the partners, they replicate the project. So we don't send it to them, but they replicate the project in the country. So we talk to them about how to manage the insect breeding and how to create them and how to produce the biofertilizer so that they can produce the product and impact their communities.
I also have a question about Beaufort, because now you're doing the production yourself, and I was wondering for the long term. So, what is your strategy in the long term? Do you want to be a production organization, or what is your idea about that?
Okay, so right now Beaufort is starting to be an enterprise. So me and him and another girl, we are starting the business together. So the project will leave the Enactus soon, and it's starting to be a business. So we have this space in our university where we have the breeding of the insects, so we produce them ourselves, and that's how we plan to maintain, and how we already searched about other enterprise and competitors outside Brazil that produce the same way, so it works.
Also, we use the profit margin to reinvest in the growth of our project and to maintain the costs of the production and with the materials used to produce our project.
Obrigado. You're making a better world and better bugs. Tomorrow at noon, if you receive $50,000, where are you going to spend it, on which project and why?
Okay, $5,000?
How about 50?
50, okay. So, with $5,000, our plan is to invest in Beaufort, to have an industry system of production to the biofertilizer with less space, more productive, more efficient, so we can scale the production model and also reduce the unit cost of our product and have a better profit margin to reinvest also in more growth in our projects. So we want to better our supply chain to access more channels of selling the product.
Your time has expired. Please join me in congratulating the team from Enactus, Brazil.
Thank you.
Thank you.